Hey there, welcome back to the table. It's been a few days. My apologies. I had had a lot going on. But I am back, and so we can get started here. Um, some questions have rolled in. The first question is I think JV said that the minor heal on the promo pictures was different. Just wanted to show that minor heal does heal 2 and 3. And it doesn't matter which deity you go to the other one. It's the same way. And I think even the Raki, the third deity that exists in the game, has the same type of rules. I don't know where I put it, but if I do find it, I will be more than happy to show you. I got those are the mage spells. Yeah, so I know it's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. So Kali, the Vengeful. So they're going to gain, at the start of the adventure, you can gain 1 attack action each location. This star is going to be based on your divine powers. So if you have 3 divine powers, you would gain 3 attack actions at each location. That's actually pretty good now that I think about it. Or you can add 2 to 3 to your hand-to-hand attack rolls, but it's -1, so that means you have to have 2 divine powers before you gain an extra. It's still pretty good, and you're choosing one of those bonus. I think that's pretty cool. Or you're just gaining divinity at each location, which is also I think of all the things, I mean, the attack action or the divinity would be the ones that come out to me. And I didn't mean to dwell so much on this, but so there's a Blaze Storm. It only hurts evil, undead, and demon, which a lot of the cards do say evil, or it's not as uncommon as you think, but because you don't know what the monster is until you draw it, it's a little less good than the other ones. And then, of course, when you eliminate a hostile, you get their printed health +1, which could be a lot. And like I said, they have these spells here. This is a react spell. You can subtract 1 from the entrance cost. There it is. There's a blood heal, 2, 3, right? It only costs 2 divinity instead of 3, so it's actually cheaper. And when you're inflicting a wound, so when you're hitting somebody, you inflict a wound, you can, actually it just heals yourself. It doesn't heal anybody else. That's interesting. Okay, the rats are okay. There's protection. That would just prevent somebody from getting wounds. So that's not bad. You pay 2. Anytime somebody's about to suffer wounds, just pay 2 divinity and bam. To me, that's, it's not better than doing a heal spell, but this doesn't cost you an action. So it's actually not awful. You can raise an orc, and then he'll fight for you. I don't know how to... so that orc is going to be targetable by the enemies, but like, how do they target him? If you have a 6-character party and then you raise an orc, that might be a little bit wonky. There you go. So there is no actual heal spell. All you can do is prevent wounds, which is doable. You take the prevent wounds one, which is summon protection. You need to have a divine power of 2 or more to get that, though. So you're not going to be able to start the game with that. That's the part that makes it tough. You're only going to be able to start the game with these 3 spells. And none of them... This one heals wounds, but it only heals your wounds. Yeah, that makes this guy, this Kali the Vengeful, not nearly as good. But that's why we didn't choose him. For exactly that reason. Because he's not nearly as good. But if you chose him along with somebody else who's Odin or maybe Ra, I guess you could make it work. But anyways, I hope I answered that question. The next question was, somebody said, have I been playing this game wrong? Well, that's always possible. The rules stink. But have I been playing this game wrong? Because the light crossbow is not just 1 copper, it's also 2 silver. This one does get you. That 2 there is a loadout cost. So that's 1 copper and 2 loadout. That's not 2 silver. And I can easily prove this just by pulling up another card here. It's like that's 2 gold, 3 copper right there. That's a silver. So see the difference? That's 1 gold, 1 silver. This is 1 copper, 2 loadout, and then that's 4 loadout. All right. So easy mistake. I am not judging, and I hope that helps the viewer who posted that. Although they were doing it in a much earlier video, so I don't know if they'll make it this far to hear this comment. But they just posted their comment last night, so I'm responding as soon as I can. It's just a much more many videos down the road. Somebody asked, lots of comments about I need to start leveling up my wizard and getting more spells than just fire hands. I don't disagree. I'm only getting so much gold a mission. I guess I'm spending a lot of it on the paladin, and I am. That paladin takes like 45 gold to level up all the way. I sort of feel like my strategy's working. I mean, maybe now that we're at a higher level dungeon, this could backfire on me. We'll see. I think we're going to get more and more gold. I think we calculated we got about 16 to 18 gold last mission. So I'm going to guess that we're going to get in the 20 to 24 range this time. That's my hope. I don't know. I'm hoping that if we're a higher level dungeon, because we're going to do our first renowned town, that we're going to have higher level enemies that will drop more gold. And of course, more gold means more level ups, means better equipment. I don't even have armor on any of my guys yet. I'm just showing how it gets done. Also, how much do I like this game? I mean, I like it. I think I even like it more than Warfighter Modern, although to be honest, Warfighter Modern makes more sense to me than this one. There's some dumb rules in this one. But last, I do have an errata for you, and that has to do with locations. So the rulebook sort of is clear, but so if you have a pick action, I've been teaching you or showing you that you have to spend an action to do that. So here's the deal. If it's a fail pick action, and the keyword fail, that does not cost an action. It's just something you have to do when you move to the location. Now, it doesn't explain what happens when I move a character who has no pick lock to the location. You know, I assume that you just wait. I've been playing that you would only do the fail at the end of the round. So if your rogue doesn't move into the location and pick the lock, by the end of the round, the fail will happen. That's how I've been playing it. The timing is not in the rulebook. It's not in the NAM rulebook either, but I think it's a fair way to play. Now, the difference is, so here again, this is a pick 4 fail. I was playing that costs us an action. It does not. It's a free action to do that. The thing that costs us an action, I'm not wrong, is the success keyword. So see how there's a success keyword? That costs an action. So in order to ignite the kindling, I have to spend an action to do that. Or otherwise, it's just optional. You don't have to do it. The fail one is not optional, and you can do it for free. And then, of course, you could choose not to roll, right? Or you can choose, make a party with no rogues, right? And then you're constantly just dealing with 3 wounds or whatever the consequence is. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. That is an error in the way I've been playing. I should probably get it in an earlier video so people can learn that if they're relying on this for learning the game. I know it's a minor thing, but not having to cost an action is a good thing. All right, so we're ready to rock and roll here on this renowned adventure. And so I think all I got to do is I got to grab experience points for everybody. So, for example, this is 1. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 experience points. And I think I'm already maxed out. No, I'm not. 1, 2, 3. And then I gotta grab a 3 here to make it 6. So I'm maxed out on my experience points here. Okay, I think we're ready to rock and roll. Give me 1 second, and I will be back. Alright, so we're starting with the paladin here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And no location cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the fighter. There we go, we got a location marker. 2 of them, in fact. So we'll get those discarded right now. And I'm dropping cards. Alright, so the fighter starting with 4 cards. Then the wizard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She has 1 location. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the rogue. Also 1 location. Alright, so I'm going to put the deck of cards back. I gotta fix, I made a little bit of a mess over here with all the cards. Alright, so we had 2 locations for, this is where it gets tricky. We gotta do 1, 1, and 1. So which deck do I draw from, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw just 1 of these locations and then decide if I'm going to play it. And that's for the fighter. So we drew Lava Flow. It's going to have an environment thing, or otherwise I can pick +2. We're going to take a wound if we don't. See, it costs 3. So I'm going to have him draw another one. I don't like that one. Although it did have a 0. This one also costs 3. 3 experience to play. Move the timer forward based on what we roll. +1 for each hero divine power. I don't like the cost of 3. That's my biggest issue. But I may have to do it. Otherwise, I still have 2 more to draw, but I want to have all of our locations figured out. So I'm going to go ahead with the wizard, and we're going to draw a common location. And for this one, we got a locked chest. We are for sure playing that one. We find a gold item. I don't know what a gold item means. I have no idea. I'm assuming that that's what they mean by this. An item with a 1 on it. That right there. I'm assuming that that's what it means. Because I have figured out that translates to each of those as 1 gold. But yeah, for sure, that's a free gold just for picking the lock on that one. So I'm happy with that. And then the rogue, we'll go ahead and draw a renowned location. And we got a lair, which nothing wrong with that. There is a pick again, but I think we're okay. And so the question becomes, do I have to make do with one of these, or otherwise we're screwed? And I am going to make do. We're going to go ahead and do this one. And we have to roll to move the timer forward. So let's just do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. It's not a pick roll. It's just a regular roll. I rolled a 5, which would move it forward 1 space. However, I get a +1 for each divine power. So the squire has 1 divine power, so that 5 becomes a 6. And then Joanna here has 3 divine powers, which becomes 7, 8, 9. 0 spaces. Okay, so we're good. Also, Joanna's going to spend 6 divinity to cast her haste spell. And we're going to move the timer backwards 1 space. So now we go up to 8 instead of 7. That haste spell is like cheating. It really is. I mean, I know it costs 6 divinity, and maybe that's a lot, but I mean, it's a fantastic spell. Okay, so now the only question we have is, my apologies, I got to get this put away. The only question we got to spawn the monster, and then do we move into the next room or not? That's really the question. And It is going to cost us 3 to go into that next room. A couple of things. We got to spawn the hostile first. Let's do that. This might dictate our decision. Goblin warriors, there's 8 of them. See, there's that evil keyword, right? That would let you use that other Kali. Swarm +2, that's bad against us. We get a +1 to hit them, so that's not too bad. And there you go, 2 copper. There's going to be 8 of them. So let's draw that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This doesn't belong in there. And one more for 8. Oh, that doesn't belong in there either. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. So I have on my backlog, as far as games go, I have Skies Above Britain. I have Mr. President from GMT Games. I have Carnegie. I have Oathsworn. And Isofarian Guard. I have not played any of them. They're literally sitting on my shelf of shame right now. I have not played any. Oh, Carnegie. I've played Carnegie multiplayer. I never played it solo. Multiplayer, it's an awesome game. It's on my not selling list. I really love Carnegie. It's also in Board Game Arena, if any of you ever use that. Oh, and I also have Fire in the Lake with the new, I think it's called the Trangbot. I showcased the Gandhi coin game. I actually sold Gandhi because for me, coin games I don't need to own all of them. I just need to own a few. And Pendragon is still my king game. I wish the new bot system existed for that. But Fire in the Lake looks fantastic. I also have the American Revolution one. I can't remember the name of it at the moment. But like, I'm totally satisfied with just having those because that's more coin games than I can get to the table with my friends. It's actually really hard to get people to play that game with me. So I'm usually playing them solo, and it's just like D-Day at Omaha Beach. I mean, they're fantastic solo games, but I don't get them to the table very often. Okay, let's get focused here. Task at hand. Am I moving into that room or not? I don't necessarily want to start blowing my cards, right? The whole strategy here is we save our cards for the boss, and I'm looking at my situation to see like what I could do is move into the room and then use my Odin ability to get extra actions, but I feel like, you know, these are easiest monsters of all of them. And then with our haste spell, I guess I'm not in a rush, am I? I don't have to be in a rush anymore. So you know what? We're not going to move in the room. We're just going to sit and wait. Well, one final thing before we make that decision. The Paladin now draws 5 cards. And the fighter, Gareth, draws 1. So there's his card. And this is every round. I draw 5 cards. So I don't need to like cycle through cards anymore. And like right there, I got a move. Look, I got another move. And maybe that alone is the motivation to move into the next room. You know what? That's exactly what I think I'm going to do. I have to discard down to 6. I can't just keep all these cards. Alright, so I'm going to discard at least 2 here. These 2. And then this one for a 3rd. So I just discarded 3 cards. And I'm going to keep 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to discard these 2. Alright, so the Paladin now has Inspiration, which is great for the final boss, and then 2 move actions. So we will play these, and we're going to move into the next room. So this one's going to be for the wizard, and then this one here, I'm thinking for herself. So she can move in for free and the wizard can move in for free. Everybody else has to pay an action. And that should be good. Now the paladin's left with 4 cards, and that's the tricky part, is we got to get everybody into the room now. It's going to cost 3 to go into the room. So I'm going to look to see if I have any movement bonuses or anything like that. I don't think I do. I do have one. I have a let's go. I just maybe want to save it. Let's see how well we can do here. I may have to use my let's go card. You got to play the cards. I definitely want to save my cards for later. But alright, so Paladin's going to move in first. And we'll represent that by this. So in order for her to move in, she has an entrance cost of 3. But she has a movement of 1 now because we leveled her up. So she only has to pay 2 cards. And it has to come from her hand. So those 2 cards will be these 2. That's a done deal. So she made it into the room. And because of the Squire ability, she is now going to gain 4 divinity, which is going to turn into 3. So she gets 3 divinity back. And she's in. Next person we got to get in is the rogue, which is player 6. And he has 1 movement as well, so he has to discard 2 cards. And he's going to go ahead and do those 2. And he has 4 cards left. So he moves in, and that gives us a copper. So we just did our freebie stuff. Now everybody else can move in. Like we already said, the wizard's going to move in for free. But she, no action for her. But she has no movement points, so she has to spend 3 cards to get in there. And this is where we get snagged, because she has some awesome cards that we shouldn't want to get rid of. She's got Rush In. Oh, right there. Play when you are paying an entrance cost. Add 3 to your movement value. Yeah, she'll just play that card. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I would have liked to have saved that for later, but that's okay. This is the right time to do it. So she got in. So now we just have 3 more to get in. We have Gareth, who could move himself in. That will cost him an action. And he's got 1 movement point as well, so he only has to play 2. And so he's going to go ahead and do flank attack and critical hit. So he's in. So now we got the Squire. The Paladin cannot help. She's down to 2 cards. The Squire has 1 movement. So to get him in, we need to come up with 2 cards. So we're going to do that. The fighter will do it. He'll spend 2 of his cards. And I'm doing this way because the Paladin and the fighter are going to draw cards for free every round. The other guys do not. So I'm trying to be stingy with the other guys' cards and then spend these 2. However, I do have to move this guy in, and he has 0 movement, so we need 3 cards. And this is going to be difficult. The rogue is going to have to spend 2 of the cards. Then we're going to take a 3rd card from the wizard. There's no other way. I got to do it that way. So there's our 3 cards. We're going to do Deadly Attack, Decisive. And then, of course, I'm making sure that I try to keep the valuable cards for later. So it was expensive to get in there, but it is a 0 to move into striking. So it doesn't cost an action to do that. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to move the wizard up into striking, and that means we're going to have Gareth get attacked right now. So I'm going to back the camera up a little bit. And they rolled a 7 and a 4, and an 8 is a miss for them. But that does mean he gets a vulnerable, which is pretty standard. And now we're going to go ahead and let's do fire hands. There are quite a few of them, but I'm going to go ahead and just spend the 2 actions. You know what? I only need to spend 1 action, and we're going to do 4 experience points because we have so many experience points. So why be so stingy, right? There's the 3, and I'm just going to flip one of these over for 1. And then I'm going to expend another experience point to roll 4 dice. So here we go. I just thought of something. Andrew, being big-brained and all, asked me why I'm not using other dice from my my collection of dice. And he's right. I really could just use other dice. I'm being stingy this way. And I happen to have quite a few dice actually over here. I'm just making sure they're D10s that I'm grabbing. Alright. So we got ourselves some more dice. There we go. Alright, so he's going to roll 4 of them. So I'm just going to set some aside here. There we go. 4. Alright, so these guys get a +1 to hit, so we need a 5. That's 2 hits, and then 2 rerolls. That's now 4 hits. So, bing, bing, we just got 4. I'm going to go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. And that means the Squire is going to get attacked. Billy Squire. Alright, they rolled a 5 and a 2, which is going to put a vulnerable on him. Alright, so the Squire could attack him. Actually, somebody would have to move in. Or we could do... I don't want to... I'm being tongue-tied. The wizard has 1 action left. I want to hold on to it to see if she can draw some cards. So that means I want to kill these guys some other way. There's only 1 more that's left to attack us. The rogue has an action. So I think what I can do is I can have the Squire move up and attack, or I could have the Paladin. Either one works, because I don't need the Paladin to draw cards so much. Which one should we do? The Squire hits on a 7. He has leather armor. He has plenty of divinity. I mean, I could try to get divinity points, but it's not necessary. Alright, I'm going to move the Paladin up. And then, of course, the last guy attacks. Again, the Squire. So this time they rolled an 8, which becomes a 10 because of the vulnerable. And a 10 is 1 wound. So the Squire is now going to roll to see if the leather armor blocks the wound. That 6 means that it goes past the leather armor. So the Squire legitimately takes 1 wound. And so then it just means I might spend a heal spell to heal. Alright, so the enemy's done. All their actions, all 3 of them have gone. So now it's just, we're going to use 1 Paladin action to attack here. So that's a 7 and a 2. And so 7, by the way, the Paladin only needs a 6 to hit. And it no longer has a penetration issue. And she could start spending divinity to get +1/+2 to her to hit chance. So we didn't need any of that. So we're going to kill one of them. So kill one of the 3s. And that gets her a divinity. So I'm just going to flip one of her tokens to give her a divinity point. And so I'm just looking at how... Yeah, so I'm going to have the Paladin attack again. This time I rolled a 1 and a 1, which is... This is good enough, but this one may not be. I rolled a 1. I get to add +2. That makes it 3, but that's not enough. So we put a vulnerable on one of these. And then I'm going to have Gareth go. He's going to attack the non-vulnerable one. And you know what? I'm going to have him spend 2 experience points, because we have a lot of experience points. And there we go. That 2 was necessary, because we've spent 2 experience points, which means he gets a +2 to his roll. That makes that a 4. And then he gets a +2 to his hand-to-hand, which makes it a 6. And what does he need to hit? A 6. So we guaranteed, as long as he didn't roll a 1, that was a guaranteed hit. So we got him. And that means we have 1 left. So I'm going to have the Squire spend the 3 points to heal. My logic on this is I want. I mean, I got plenty of divinity. Let's get rid of that wound. So I don't need to roll because it's a minimum of 2 that heals. So one action on the square heals. The other action can go in and try to hit. So that's what we're going to do. So he's going to go ahead and hit that vulnerable one. And here's what's cool. That vulnerable on there, and then his vulnerable that's on him, gives him 2 divinity back. So he literally spent 3 and got 2 back. So so that was a good deal. And now whether or not he hit, that's a question. He rolled a 4 plus 2 is 6. He needs a 7. He does not have a hand-to-hand bonus, so he actually missed, which causes the vulnerable to go up. We happen to have both of our rogues have actions. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot with the crossbow. And let's see if we hit. So yeah, that's a 6 and a 3. That's an easy hit. So the rogue kills with the crossbow. And we finished it off. Now, I happen to have 2 actions left with the mini rogue. And I'm going to use both of those to get rid of the vulnerable off of Gareth and off of the squire. And then I have 1 action for the wizard. And, oh, yeah, that action for the rogue was supposed to draw a card. That was my mistake, but that's okay. Sometimes you make mistakes. 1, 2, 3 for the wizard. She's going to discard 1 card, draw 3, and those are the 3 she drew. So she's at least back up to 6. Alright, what do we get for... We get a silver for killing it, and then we get 4 experience points. Because we're still fighting a nuisance, even though we're in the... Alright, the 4 experience points, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty easy to give back. And we're in a clear room. So everybody moves back to range 0. Alright, that brings us to the end of the round. The timer is going to go down to 7, but I'm going to spend the 6 divinity again. Here's 7 divinity I'm spending. And I'm going to move that timer right back up. Now, what's going to allow me to do that? Well, because we're going to play a location. So we are now going to go to a common room, and we're going to play the locked door location. So that also has an entrance cost of 3, which is brutal. And we need to get into there. At the start of the turn, the paladin gets 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we got the Found by Chance and the Melee. Both are good. And the fighter gets 1. So location marker. I'm not going to draw any more locations. We're happy with all the locations. Although he might actually... Yeah, we're going to draw a location at the Renowned just to see. There might be a better one. Yeah, actually, it's a worse location. That's the one we drew. Don't like it. The entrance costs for these are all high. That's the one thing that stinks. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. I gotta discard 1. Alright. 1 card has been discarded, and now the paladin's down to 6. Okay, we just came into a common room. This common room happens to use a nuisance monster, which, so we got 4 orc swordsmen. That's not a lot at all. They have 1 hit point each. They just don't have any bonuses or penalties, and a cover of 2, which makes them a little bit harder to hit. There's our 4. I think the toughest part is it's going to cost 3 to move into the room. And I don't know if we have enough actions to do it. And then once we move into the room, see, there's another action to get up into striking range. So that's the challenge. I do have a charge card, which lets us all move into the room without having to spend an action. We still need another charge card for the final boss. I'm also bearing in mind that for the Odin room, we get to charge into a room and gain action points when we do it. I'm thinking. Sorry. I think since there's only 4 of them, this may not be a bad time to charge into the room. And I know this is dangerous, but I'll play the 1 charge card I have, so that way it doesn't cost us an action and we all get to move in for free. It costs us 3 experience points, but no big deal. And the only reason why that's so risky is that's the only charge card I have, and you always want one for the final boss. But I think we're going to cycle through some cards here. So let's start again with the Paladin. Obviously the move-in is free. Everything else is not. So the cost is 3, which means she has to discard 2 cards, which she has, and she's done. So she's in the room, and she's going to gain 3 divinity for that. Next up, we have the Fighter, who can move in for a cost of 2 because he has 1 movement. And he'll get rid of both of the locations, the R and the N. So I just gotta find the right deck of cards and make sure I don't put them in the wrong one. Alright, so he did that. He's in. The Rogue has to spend 1 action to draw cards, because remember the last time we didn't get him any cards. In order for him to get into this room, he needs cards. So 1 action to get in there, and that's fine. We really don't ever attack with the Rogue all that much. So we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, because he's going to keep the 2 he has. And we got a location marker, a swarm, an evade, and a jumping back. So the location and the jumping back are going to be the 2 cards he's going to spend, and he's going to move in. Okay, and then we gain a copper. Alright, so I am running low on cards here. The wizard's gotta spend some cards, 3 of them. She has 3, no problem. So she's spending those 3. So she's in, and then we got the issue of the Squire. Squire only needs 2 cards. I'm running out of cards, so somebody needs to spend an action to draw some cards. Gareth will spend an action. You know what? The wizard's gonna... well... Gareth is gonna spend an action and draw some cards. So he gets to draw 5. There's 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so to get the mini rogue in, it's gonna cost 3 cards. So those 3 are gonna go. And then these are the 2 he has left. The wizard will spend 1 action to draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she'll spend this one plus this one to get the Squire in. and now we got everybody there. So now the question becomes, how do we kill these things? If I move the wizard forward, that's her last action. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to move the wizard forward for the last action. And then these guys are going to attack Gareth. They rolled a 7, which is a miss, but that does put a vulnerable on them. And then we have the swarm card. We're going to play that, which counts as an action for attacking. And so that attack is going to be her, she's going to do her fire hands. And then we're going to, of course, spend 4 experience points as the other half of the action. And yeah, she's going to get to roll 4 dice. Oh, 1 more experience point to be able to do that. Here we go. So what does she hit with? She hits with a 6. So there's 1, 2, 3 hits, and then this is a reroll, which is a miss. So she killed 3. 1, 2, 3. There's only 1 left. Alright, so then the paladin has 2 actions. So she'll spend 1 to move forward and 1 to attack. And there's an 8-6. And I just realized I probably need to do some penetration rolls. So for the 3 hits for the wizard, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. All 3 of them succeeded. And then the paladin succeeded as well. So they're all dead. And the paladin actually gets another divinity. And we get another silver and 4 experience points. And you know what? I was supposed to do the Odin thing here. I think that was the whole reason why I did this, but I forgot, and then forgot to blow the horn, and now I don't need it. Okay, so there's the silver, and 4 experience points. Taking care of that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And okay, who has actions left? Well, the squire has both of his, so he'll remove some vulnerables. The wizard has none. Gareth has 1, so he's going to go ahead and draw. He's going to discard these 2 cards and draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he got these. And then the rogue has 1 action, and he's going to draw 3 cards. And there we go. We got our charge card back, the one that we were looking for. And then the paladin is going to go ahead and discard this, and we're going to pay 1 experience point to get 1 silver. So hi-ho silver, away. Done. Okay, 2 rooms down. The turn's going to end, and so I'm not going to cast a haste spell anymore. This is going to go down to 7. And then, of course, we've got 1 last location. And we still have both of our Odin and Roz, so we'll use it for this final room. This final room is going to have an entrance cost of 3, so he's not going to be fun. Like I said, I have 1 charge card. We verified that there are 3 charge cards in the deck. I don't know if I'll be able to find the 3rd one. The entrance cost being 3 in each one of these rooms is really tough. But we will play this last card. Oh, I have to do a luck pick. So the rogue, I spent his last action. You know what? Our mini rogue actually has 2 actions. So I'm going to spend 1 experience point to try it. We're going to try to pick this lock, but we get a -2 to our pick roll. He would need a 9. Yeah, I don't like that odd. I'm gonna save that. So while we're still in this room, at the start of this turn, our main rogue is going to spend an action to try to pick this lock. And we rolled an 8. And so in order for him to pick a lock, he just needed a 5. He gets a -2 to his roll. And so yeah, we succeeded, and we're going to gain a 1 gold item, which is this one. And I'm going to go ahead and sell it for gold. Technically, I don't sell it until we get back to town, but I'm doing it now because it's not like you spend the money here anyways. There are some spells that cost money to upkeep, but we don't use any of them, so it's not a concern. So there we go. That's there. We get a renowned hostile, which is the lava golem. There is one of them, only one, but he has 10 health, and he does 4 attacks. And you can see he has a lot of nasty. So that's an interesting one. And I gotta pause again real quick, so I will be right back. Okay, so it's just one creature. Oh, he has crush keyword. We'll have to look what that means. He penetrates. He's a construct. He's sort of immune to fire there, being a lava golem. So, 3 more targets. Like so. Okay, to move into this room is going to cost another 3. That's a tall order. Well, before that happens, fighter gets a card. Paladin gets 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a good one. Alright, so discarding these 2. So here's the thing. If we moved into the room with them, the pick for the guard roll is a free action with the new rule clarification. So that part's good. Sorry. Okay, so I used the pause time to look up the keywords here. Crush means nothing for us. It means they can attack vehicles and buildings, which, you know, is more for the Warfighter universe. Construct isn't even in the keywords, so it's just, I don't know, if you have a spell that works against construct or whatever, then it's just a type of creature. That's all it is. The fire attack itself doesn't mean anything unless, like, it's possible, like, you could have a soldier that's immune to fire or something, and so then, you know, that would mean that the damage would not be as prevalent. So beyond that, he's a pretty straightforward guy, but he just has 10 health. So if we move into the room, I can blow the horn. So I'm looking at it as we can spend, you know, I got cards I can still draw to get that 3rd charge. I can use a charge card to go into the room without spending an action. Then I'm running the risk of the boss room, needing the charge card. It's going to cost 3 entrance costs just to get in. Yeah, I'm going to do it because I think we can blow the horn, which will give us extra actions. So we're going to use the charge card again, so we don't have to spend an action for all of our heroes to move in. 1, 2, 3 experience points spent. Okay, and then it's going to cost us 3 to actually get in there. And I'm looking at the final room. The final room actually only costs 2 to get into. So I'm going to play Let's Go, and it's going to add 1 to all the movement of heroes this turn. So now it's only going to cost us 2 to get in. And I'm going to start with the Paladin, like always. Paladin only needs 1 card to get in, and there she be, because Paladin has 1 movement. And so in doing so, we're going to gain 3 divinity for that. Next up, we're going to get the rogue in so we can get our copper. I'm going to get the copper right now because I know I'm getting in that room one way or another. It only costs him 1 card to get in. So here it be. He'll do his sneak attack card. So he's in the room. And then let's do our fighter. Sorry, my son has a homecoming dance at his school. So it's a busy house while I'm trying to record. And he has lots of questions for me, and that's okay. I'm a lot of interruptions, but we're good. Alright, so we got the wizard. She's going to need to spend 2 cards. And here they be. So she's in. And then we got the squire who needs 1 card. The paladin will pay that. And then the mini-me needs 2 cards. And I'm looking real quick to see what we can do. I'm going to pay 1 card from the wizard and 1 card from Gareth, and we were able to get him in. Alright, so everybody's in the room. Now, this guy, as you can see, he's attacking player 6, which is the rogue. We could try to advance with the wizard, but see, he's a -2 for fire, so the fire hands isn't going to be quite as effective. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this card, and then this is from the paladin's hand. So she's going to move herself up for free into striking range. And yeah, we're going to have an attack, and we'll have him attack the paladin. So they rolled a 9, which is 2 damage to the paladin. So the paladin's going to use 2 toughness to deflect that off. So then we're going to go ahead and spend 1 action for the paladin to attack him. And so she rolled a 4. I need to actually boost my action. I got lucky. I get a +2 hand-to-hand, so that 4 becomes a 6, which is a hit. But he has a cover of 5, and I fail to hit. She does have a penetration of 1, just built into her card. So that 2 does become a 3, but that's not enough. So all I can do is put a back up. We're blowing the horn. I just said we were going to blow the horn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6s or more will get us extra actions. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra actions. Holy buckets. Okay. So then we also have Ra the Powerful. I'm going to do that as well. And that's going to be 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a 5 or more puts a vulnerable on. So 1, 2. So he got 2 vulnerable, which is a +4, +2. So he starts the game with that, or starts the round. So getting back to the paladin, we rolled a 4, and I believe it was a 2. The paladin has +1 penetration right here. So that makes it a 3. And then this makes it a 5, which is a hit. And that 4 plus a 2 hand-to-hand is a 6, which is a hit. And then there's another 4 more on the card. So the paladin actually did hit this guy. And then I can pay 1 experience points when I inflict a wound to also inflict 1 vulnerable. So we're going to do 1 wound, and I'm going to put another vulnerable on him. And I'm just going to put the wounds here. So that's done. Paladin's going to go again. Oh, he gets to go. He's going to attack player 6. He rolls a 6 and a 2. A 6 for him is 1 wound. On the rogue, nothing I can do about it. Okay, so now Paladin goes. A 2 and a 1. This gets +3, which becomes a 4 from the vulnerables. And then she makes it a 5, so that makes it through. Then this 2 gets +6 from this, so I don't even need to roll this die anymore. That's an automatic hit. So second wound on the guy. And I am going to spend another experience point to make him +8, +4. So what that means now is even if I roll a 1, this is a hit. I don't have to roll anymore for any character that needs... I mean, this is an automatic 8. So if I roll a 1, that's a 9. And if I roll a 1 with this, that's a 5. So it's an automatic hit for anybody who attacks him. So I've gone twice with the Paladin. I could spend a card to go a third time, but I'm not. And then I gain 2 divinity for that. So I'm going to call that done. Now the guy gets to attack again. We're going to attack player 3. So he rolled a 4, which is that's a hit. And then we're going to see if it penetrates the armor. It does not. So he'll deflect the hit with 1 armor. That does cost us a copper to fix later on, but that's okay. But with the leather armor, it was up to a 3. It'll block. So so that's done. And now I'm going to have, like, it does cost me an action to move in, but I think I'm going to have Gareth move in. Yeah, Gareth is going to move in. That costs him an action. So now they're going to attack the rogue. I rolled a 9 and a 1. That 9 is 2 more hits on the rogue. So the rogue has... Ooh, that's actually going to kill him. So we're going to spend an experience point. The rogue actually has this card in his hands to suffer 2 fewer wounds. So that was lucky. Oh my goodness. That would have killed him. Alright, so yes, to some of your feedback, I think I need to level up these other guys, not because I want better attack spells, but just so it gives them more health. Because I think the rogue will eventually get 4 health if I level him up some more. He's currently 3rd level. His 6th level has 6 health. Yeah, so he can absorb more hits. That's the reason. Because this guy does 2 hits at a time. He could, if I roll high enough, do 4 hits. I mean, that's enough to just kill somebody in one whap. But remember, every hit is a... So now he's done. He has no more attacks. So Gareth is going to go ahead and just apply another wound. Remember, I don't need to roll anymore. Gareth only needs a 6 to hit. And then Gareth could get rid of a card. And he will. He'll get rid of casting. And he's going to attack again. So now this thing's up to 4 damage. And Gareth is done. Alright, so we got... Nobody has a vulnerable on them. So I'm going to go ahead and attack, like our mini-me hits with a 9. So we're getting a +8. So the mini-me is going to spend 2 actions, and both of them are going to apply 2 more wounds. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds on this guy. The squire will spend 3 divinity to heal the wound on the rogue, because that needs to be done. The rogue will shoot a quarrel. From his crossbow, which will be an automatic hit to do 1 more wound. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll spend an action for the wizard to move in, and then another action and 4 experience points, and a 5th experience point, and we're going to roll some dice. And he's vulnerable. So that's a hit. 2, 3, yeah, 4 more hits. Yeah, that kills him. So even with the -2, because we get a +8 because of the vulnerables. Alright, he's dead. Now, with him being dead, I'm going to play 2 cards right now. Inspiration. And that gives us, when you eliminate a hostile, that hero gains experience points equal to the hostile's printed health. So we're going to gain 20 experience points, +8, 28 experience points. I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And I need 12 more. So there's 6, 10, 12. Oh my gosh, I still have 5 bonus actions. This guy is deader than dead. So we're going to use 1 bonus action for the wizard to draw 4 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll spend this one right now. And then there's a move, which will be nice. Alright, so 1 bonus action spent, or 1 experience point spent. We get another silver. Perfect. Wizard is done. We're going to have the rogue spend an action to draw 4 cards. 2, 3, 4. Alright, so it's okay. It's not the best. The paladin's going to get to draw 5 at the beginning. We're going to have the fighter spend an action to draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that means I have 2 bonus actions left. I'm realizing that the rogue needs to pick that lock, so we'll spend an experience point to do that. Picks the lock. It was it's a free action, but it would cause the guard to appear. So we're good there. Oh, and then our reward here, we're going to get 1 silver and then 3 gold's worth of items, which that's the reason why I want to fight renowned hostiles. I want to fight those higher level hostiles. So we got a silver, and then we're going to grab a 3 item. Right there it is. So the 3 item is a footman's flail. So it's decent, but what we have is better across the board. I don't have anybody that needs a weapon, so I'm going to sell that for 3 gold. But it's a decent item. And remember, I don't have this 3 gold until we go to town, but that's okay. I don't have any skills that use gold here. Okay, I still have 2 bonus actions left, so I might as well go ahead and draw 4 cards for the paladin. And there's the 4. And I'm actually going to discard all 4 of these and draw 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And drew a bunch of location markers. Okay, that brings us to the end of the round. Everybody gets actions back. the timer goes to 6. I've been using this to track where we are. We are currently here. So we just need to do one action to move into Gron's cave. And then, of course, that would make him active, along with his guard, which is Goblin Warriors from the Nuisance. So let's grab those. We actually just faced those this round. So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1. Okay, so there's the 8 for that. Here's the 1. He has 2 more attacks. So 1 and a 5. Alright, that's what it looks like. We're technically not in the room yet. The fighter gets to draw 1 card. And then the paladin gets to draw 5. These are all free actions. Alright, so this is her whole hand. So we got 1. This is a keeper. 2. 3. 4, 5 location markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There, that's 6 cards. 5 location markers. We're just going to discard that. Okay, so the third charge card, we have like this many cards left in our draw deck. The third charge card is in there. We didn't get it. I would have to spend actions, but remember, we have the Odin thing, so we can charge into the room, blow the horn, get bonus actions. I just personally think we're going to need those bonus actions to finish these guys off. The Goblin Warriors just need a +1. They have a +1 to be hit, so they're real easy to kill. The Grond himself has the Crush thing, which, and then of course he just has 12 health, which is a lot of health. So it's going to take a lot to take him down. He has a Fire +2, which means that he is susceptible to the Wizard. So maybe we want to save the Wizard for him. But the problem with that is there's 8 Goblin Warriors we got to take out beforehand. So that's where this becomes a challenge. So we would need like bonus actions for the Wizard, stuff like that. So how do we do this? I'm going to make sure that we don't actually have a charge card. Because if we have a charge, that gets us into the room without having to spend an action. And I don't think we have it. Because I think we spent it. And I could take a risk and like take an action to draw cards. The risky part about that is I may not get the charge card. And I don't. I only have 1 move, which will spare me 1 action for 1 person. Ooh, that's risky. So that means all of our party is spending an action to move into that room without the charge card. That charge card is so powerful, but we've been using it so much just to get here. I do have 6 turns left, so I think I'm going to just delay. We can just spend a whole round just drawing cards. So I'm looking at the Paladin here. She has 3 cards I want to keep, although the Swarm card's probably nice. Just trying to see who can get rid of the most cards here and draw a big hand. The Rogue can draw 3 cards. The Wizard can draw 2. The Fighter Well, first of all, he's sitting on 7 cards, so I need to discard 1. He can draw 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. So fighter's going to discard 5 cards and draw for an action. So we're going to spend an action to do that. Let's see if we can get the let's go, or the charge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a okay. Yeah, we didn't get it. So now he's going to discard all 5 and use another action to draw 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he still didn't get it. That blows. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the rogue's going to spend an action to draw 3. And there it is. There's the charge. So we got it. And the rogue had to discard 3 to do that. So these are the... These are the 3 discards. Alright, so rogue's going to spend... So Gareth is out of actions, but we're going to blow the horn. Or you know what, I got so much time on the clock, I don't think I need to be that hasty. The Joanna gained 1 of her toughness back. If I wait 1 more round, she'll actually get 2 of her toughness back. So it just pays to wait. And then I forgot, the Squire actually has 1 toughness, and so he didn't need to use his leather armor to absorb that wound. But he'll gain that toughness back. Yeah, I'm just going to end the round, and we'll charge in the next round. I got the card I was looking for, so now we got it. So 5 turns left, and then we can go. I'll be back. Okay, let's take this guy down. We'll play the charge card. So everybody gets to move in for free, no action necessary. So then the entrance cost to the room is 2. And you can see it's a fodder room, which means I'm going to gain experience for every dead person there. 1 action and 2 experience points to activate. So somebody has to spend an action and 2 experience points. And then of course it's a hot environment, so I need a 4 or better. So the action to activate is of course going to be our mini thief, because he always has 2 extra actions, and then 2 experience points is not a problem. We have all this bonus experience points at the moment. So now we just got to get in the room. It costs 2 to get in the room. The people who have 1 movement only need to have to pay 1, and I'm pretty darn sure we have, yep, we got a let's go. So that just reduced the cost to get into the room to 1. So with that being said, everybody who has 1 movement moves in for free. So the Paladin goes in first, then the Squire, the Master Rogue, and Gareth. So they don't have to spend any cards. These 2 need 1 card each. And since the Paladin went in, she gains 3 divinity. And we also get 1 copper, like usual. And then the Wizard will spend a card to get in. And who else needs... Oh, Mini-Me needs a card. And the Rogue happens to have 1 for him, a location marker. So the Rogue will pay his cost to get in. Okay, everybody's in. Now we gotta do a hot check for everybody. So Squire first. Pass. Paladin. Pass. Gareth. Pass. Wizard. Pass. Mini-Me. Pass. Major Me. Pass. So everybody passes. Alright, so we're all in there. Let's see if Mini-Me goes into Shadows. There's a +0 to his roll. We're going to spend an experience point for Mini-Me and Major Me to go into Shadows. That's Mini-Me. He rolled a 10, so he's in shadows. Major Me rolled a 10. He's also in shadows. So we got that covered. Alright, so now it's going to cost 1 action to move into striking. And I do have some cards to help with that. Oh, the fighter gets a card. We got this move card. He's at 7 cards at the moment, so he'll discard this. And the paladin technically gets 5. This is the last of the draw cards, which is an attack. And now I gotta shuffle the whole discard pile. There's actually a chance we can get those silver coins again. Alright, we gotta kill those 8 goblin warriors. It's not gonna be the easiest thing in the world to do, but we're gonna blow the horn. And somebody pointed out, I think it was Wombat Girl, that we don't have to do raw when we move into the room. Odin the Wise is the moment you move in the room. You gotta. So entering a location is when you do that. But I don't think for raw, that's not entering the location one. So I can just get the blessing. We can make sure we kill those goblin warriors before I get the raw blessing for the boss. So that makes sense. Alright, so we drew 1 card already. Here's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we got another inspiration because, we don't have enough experience points. So I am going to keep that one plus the casting. And we're going to just discard the advancing attack, the location marker, and both of these Russian cards, which are actually valuable, but I didn't need them this time. So, alright. Let's blow the horn. Like it says, we get 4 dice, but she now has 3 powers, so that's 3 more. So we're rolling 7 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 or better. There's 1, 2, 3. 3 bonus actions. We'll take it. Alright. Now I gotta look at how many bonus attacks or anything else I have. So just give me a second. I'm looking for cards like this. So the wizard has 2 of those. So we're definitely going to use those. Well, actually no, that's Gareth's cards, but we have the cards. It's just Gareth's hand, not the wizard's hand. And we got a 3rd one with the rogue. Okay, so I want to use one of the melee cards from the fighter, so I'm going to have to spend an experience point to move the paladin forward, like so. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll spend an experience point. So now we're 5 over, and that means somebody gets to attack. So I've learned a long time ago, you want to attack with the boss first. So the boss is going to attack player 3. And so there's a 2 and a 1. I wasn't supposed to roll 2, but they both suck. And they're both a miss. So he does penetrate, so that means the vulnerable goes on the squire. Okay. So the whole point of moving the paladin forward is the paladin gets a +2/+1 on this location. But now I'm realizing she has this stunning card, which means she can add vulnerables to the boss. But how many vulnerables do I really need to add if I'm going to use the Ra the Powerful? Maybe not that much. Gareth the Fighter, by the way, is out of actions. So I would have to spend action cards for him to go. So that's my dilemma here. Well, I know I just wasted a move moving the paladin in, but I'm thinking I want to move the wizard in, because as much as I want to use the wizard on the boss, I do, because the wizard gets a +2 to all of her rolls, so she could take the boss down really quick. If she casts her fire spell like 2, 3, maybe 4 times. But I'm also looking at, there's just so many creatures here. That's a lot of actions. With Gareth the fighter already... Oh no, he didn't use up all of his... I forgot to reset him. That was when we were trying to get that charge card. So the Gareth actually has all of his actions. And then we have 3 bonus actions. So I actually think... I know this this stinks, but I'm going to use another melee card, and this time we're going to move Gareth in. So I wasted like an opportunity here, and so now the boss is going to attack Gareth. So we rolled a 6 and a 5. A 6 for the boss is a 1 wound, and then it's going to wound 1 random player. So for the 1 wound, he's just going to remove a toughness. But the random player, that's the more interesting one. Let's see. Player 3, which is the squire, so he'll remove his toughness. So that was a little nasty. Okay, Gareth is in position. And Gareth will spend his first action to attack. And every time we attack, we're going to spend 2 experience points, so he gets a +2 to his roll. So, because we can. There's no reason not to at this point, because I'm overloaded with experience. So, and then this is a fodder room, which makes it even worse. But we want Gareth to hit. So Gareth's going to attack the Goblin Warriors, and he rolled a 6, 3, which is a guarantee hit against them, and he's going to kill the one targeting player 6. And then the boss is going to attack player 5. And he rolled a 3, which is a miss. So he's going to put a vulnerable on Mini-Me. Alright. So Gareth is going to keep going. He's going to spend an action, attack the Goblin Warriors. And there's a 3-2. I actually don't know if he can miss. So he gets a +2 to his hand-to-hand, which is a 5. Because he's spending 2 experience points, he only needs a 4 to hit. So... I guess if he rolled a 1, it would be a miss for him. So he's going to go ahead and kill the one targeting player 5. No. The one targeting player 1 himself. Alright, so then they're going to go ahead and attack him. So it's a 2-1. So he gets a vulnerable. Alright, so now he's going to discard a card, which is his melee speed skill that lets him attack a 3rd time. And so he's going to do that. And that's another hit. And he's going to go ahead and kill this one. So now they're going to attack player 2. They rolled a 4-4, which is a miss. So the wizard gets a vulnerable. And he's out of actions. But now we're going to go ahead and we got to do this before it's too late. We're going to play Swarm. 3 or more hostiles. We're going to let him attack 1 more time. So that's another kill. And this time he's going to kill number 6. And then they're going to go ahead and attack. We'll have them attack number 6 here. So they rolled a 9, which is a hit against player 6. And this time, I don't think he can avoid this one. I'm just looking. Here we go. We got an Endure card. Suffer 1 fewer wound. The wizard had it. So the wizard protected him from getting the wound. The fighter is completely out of actions unless I start using bonus actions, of which I have 3. And so the fighter himself has this card, so he's going to keep going. We're going to attack again. Got a 9-1, and we're going to kill the last one before he has a chance to go. Alright, there's 3 more Goblin Warriors that we need to take down. And I have the Squire here. Alright, so Mini-Me has 1 action left. So he's going to spend... Why does he only have 1? Let me think about this. Yeah, he has 1 action left. So he's going to get rid of the vulnerable that's on himself. The enemy's gone, so we got nothing but free actions here. Gareth and the Squire both have vulnerables on them. I could have the Squire move forward and spend some attacks, but our Rogue actually has 2 actions. So I'm going to spend 1 action on the Rogue to remove the vulnerable from the Squire. And then I'm going to have the Squire move forward. It's going to cost him 1 action, and then he'll use his other action to attack. Yeah, that's how this is going to go. So there's a 3 and a 4. The 3 is not enough to kill anything. He does gain 1 divinity. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have vulnerable anymore. So that was just horrible. He puts a vulnerable on one of them. Sure, we'll do that one. So I think at this point... the Rogue can go. And the Rogue will attack the one that has the vulnerable token. And so that 4 gets a +3 because he's in shadow. He needs a 9. That's a 7. And then the vulnerable makes it a 9. So he needed that vulnerable token to be able to get the kill, but he did. And so he's down to 23 corals there. 2 left, and the only people with actions left are the Wizard and the Paladin. So I'm going to have to go do it with the Paladin. I already moved forward with the Paladin, because remember I did that a long time ago. The Paladin is going to discard a card to use her melee skill, which gives her a free action, her 3rd action. So there we go. There's a 3. I needed to spend divinity. Or experience points. Either one, because I did the same thing with Gareth. I would have spent the experience point, although I have plenty of divinity too. I'm going to spend the experience points. So that's a hit. I don't even know if it can miss, to be honest. So there's 1 hit, and then she'll spend one of her actions to finish it. And then that'll be another 2 experience points. I'll roll for good measure, but it doesn't matter. Okay, the Goblin Warriors are down. So this guy is what's left. 12 health. This is just a bunch of nastiness down here, so we want to kill him as much as possible. So I've been saving this 1 melee card to move the Wizard up. So doesn't have to spend a action to move up. And then the Wizard, it costs 2 actions, or 1 action and 4 experience points to attack. And just so you know, I still have 3 attack cards left. So we can pummel the crap out of this guy. So here's 1 action to attack. And then I'm going to spend 4 experience points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a 5th one to roll an extra die. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And he hits with a 4 or better. So there's 1, 2, 3 hits, and then this is a reroll. There's 4. So that's 4 hits on the guy. Out of 12. So now we're going to do it again. 1 action. 4 experience points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a 5th one. 4 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4 more hits. He's up to 8 now. And here's another action. And this time I'm going to just spend one of her action tokens instead of 4 experience points. Because, yeah, I'm going to be stingy about my experience points. Because I know that this guy's an easy peasy kill. 1, 2 hits, 2 rerolls. There's 4 more hits. He's dead. This game is very rinse and repeat. That's the only thing. Like, once you got a groove going. I mean, I still had this card, which would have given her bonus to her attack roll. I had 2 of them, actually. Yeah, it's and so then I'm also going to play Inspiration, which gives me 12 experience points for the kill. And then I get 8 more for the guards, because it's a fodder room. So that's 20 experience points. And then the guards themselves give me 4. So I just gained 24 experience points for this room. And once again, I didn't spend that much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 19, 24, and I had 3 bonus actions from the Odin. So I had more actions still. So I'm being so stingy with my actions, but I don't know. Like, sometimes you just never know how it's going to turn out, and I'm not sitting there and calculating all the math. But so the Guardians, I get 1 silver for that. So Guardians down. And then for the boss himself, I get another silver and a level 4 item. So I gave myself the silver. Here's the item deck. There's 2 5s. There's a 1 and a 3. Per the rules, I'm supposed to take this. Ooh, a fiery mace. So here's the deal with this one. See how it has fire on it? If they have a fire +2 on there, that means that when you attack with the mace, you get a +2 as well. But it also means that you get a -2 if he's resistant to fire. So it's a it's a double-edged mace, pun intended. That's a pretty decent item. I actually don't dislike it. Who would I give it to, though? I have the Blessed Longsword for the Paladin, and it's pretty tough to beat. I mean, it's better than this in every way except for that fire keyword. I have the regular longsword for Gareth, so I could give this to Gareth just so we have somebody with blunt. But to be honest, I'll just do unarmed attacks if I have to do blunt. I'm selling it. I'm going to take the 4 gold because I actually think we need the gold. Because to your point, the feedback that you guys gave, we need to level up. So let's get the gold, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 gold right there. Alright, so boss is done. And let me do some of the basic cleanup here. Get some of the tokens out of the way. I like to keep the objective with that. So these 3 cards get put away. The town, which is Laford. We now cleared the town. So the clearance marker goes on the board. The next town is another renowned town called Shaywood. So we're going to here. And gotta get these put away. So 1 nuisance, 1 common, 1 renowned. Oops. Okay, per the storyteller, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I get 6 copper for that. So that is 1 gold and 1 silver. Okay, so we said we were hoping to get over 20 gold from this. Oh, and then for the adventure itself, we got 7 gold for that. Let's not forget that. That's very important. 4, 5, 6. I'm actually out of gold tokens, so I'll take 2 silver. Nope, there's 1. Nope. I'll take 2 silver. Alright, so this is important because, like, I was looking at it and I was like, there's no way that's 20. But now we might be closer. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 gold. So we barely made 20, but it's still, like, I think we said we had 15 or 16 last time, so we at least, you know, my goal of getting at least into the 20s, we hit it. Barely, but we hit it. So we go. We got 21 gold. It costs 12 to upgrade the Paladin to max level. Now, you might be thinking, Jeff, that is so excessive. The Paladin is already so awesome as it is, and I don't disagree. The only reason I even really seriously consider it, let's just show you the comparison. So the Paladin has 7 health, 1 movement point, and that doesn't change. The loadout doesn't change. She'll be drawing 6 cards instead of 5. In fact, 5 is more than enough. I don't need that 6th one. She'll get an extra experience point. Don't need it. She gets the +1 action. She'll get 3 actions naturally every turn. And then if she uses her melee speed, she could get a 4th action. That is why. That +1 action is huge. Toughness of 4, which basically means she can solo anything. Penetration of 2, which means that, you know, that guy that needed 5 penetration, not as big of a deal. And she gets a 4th divine power, so now we can cast, we can grab one that's like an offensive spell. Because she's sitting here on 40 plus divinity. Now maybe we could start spending some of it and actually doing some damage. That's where I'm going, is you get another spell. And that other spell could be very juicy. How juicy? Great question. Here we go. I was eyeing up this Divine Storm. So she could roll... It costs her 10 divinity, which is pretty expensive. She would have to hit with a 7. She gets to roll 4 dice. And she could spend holy water to add extra. Otherwise, yeah, you know, there's not a lot. She can give out extra actions for 5 divinity. I don't think we want another heal spell. Like, we would want something that... Like, we definitely don't need more experience points. Yeah, I think, like Let There Be Light. Yeah, don't need that. Although that counts as, like, a move. I don't think we need the extra heal. Although that one's, like, the highest level. I guess DVG assumed we did. Yeah, the only thing that's even remotely juicy here, Ward. Cancel the guard roll. Now that we have haste, we're never going to get guard rolls very often. The Ravens, everybody gets +2 only against flying hostiles. Yeah, they're no good with that. It's Divine Storm. That's the one. And it's not the best thing. I mean, I'm going to roll 4 dice. I need a 7 to hit. I might hit a few times. I would almost rather just move up, and the sword of hers is a guaranteed hit every time. But it's only 1 hit per action, whereas here you're possibly going to get more than 1, but you're just... I mean, I know she has 40 divinity, but that's a lot. So anyways, that's our dilemma, right? But I'm hearing you. Let's maybe not focus so much on the Paladin. Let's look at the other guys. Our Squire is 6th level, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's look at Gareth real quick. Gareth is sitting for 5 gold. He can go to level 5, and he'll get to draw 3 cards instead of 2. and he gets an extra penetration. That's really the big difference there. And then for 5 more gold, so 10 total gold, he'll be like the paladin. He'll be drawing 5 cards around. Oh, he gets +1 action right there. So he's actually cheaper to get an extra action than the paladin. He just doesn't get another divine power. So that's an option. For 10 gold, he would get an extra action. That's not bad. Alright, let's look at our rogue real quick. We got him up to level 3. It would cost him, so he's at 13 here. To get to 4, he would gain that extra health we were talking about. That only costs 3 gold. That might be worth it just so he's not so squishy. Now, why am I not as worried about the wizard? Because the wizard has a deflect spell. I could get him the dodge skill, which is the same as the deflect spell, but that costs gold too. So yeah, we could get him to 4 health, then eventually 5 health, and then he'll start drawing 2 cards. So to get to there, he would have to spend 13 gold. Or 8 gold, I mean. That's pretty expensive. But then he's drawing 2 cards. He has 2 luck. Then for 8 more, he would be max level, which is 4 cards around, 2 luck, and his pick and shadow rolls are ridiculously low. He has 6 health, a +1 to his hand-to-hand, which we don't even need. Okay, so he definitely benefits from at least leveling up 1 more time. And then here's our wizard. I know we've been neglecting the wizard so much, but her big thing is, the reason you want to level her up is, yeah, she'll get to draw cards every round, which is good, but this one is a bonus to all of her dice rolls, but it's the 12 focus. Because now you can get other spells that, like for example, Fireball, I think, takes 10 to 12 focus to cast 1 time. So if you want her to have those big, beefy spells, you need her to have a lot of focus. And that's how you do it. And then her lore is going to get better. She never learns new spells. We'd have to get it ourselves. And like a Fireball spell costs 6 gold to get. And look at that, 12 focus. So that means when she's max level, she could cast Fireball 1 time. But then, she does gain a focus at the end of every night. At the end of every round, she would gain a focus back. So you could cast it in the beginning of the game, and then hopefully by the time you get to the boss, you can cast it 1 more time. It's not that great. I mean, I know you guys keep talking about it. I mean, I guess I do get to roll 7 dice. So 7 dice, and it hits on a 5. So you're right. I could take down a boss quicker. I could take down enemies a lot better because, if I'm facing 20 enemies, it's not the worst idea. Like the Enchanted Falcon, some of these other ones are nice, and they only cost 1 gold. So maybe I should consider stuff like that. But the problem is that I got the same issue. This counts as a targetable creature, and I'm already using all 6 targets that came with the game. So I don't think I can do it. Don't want to do Ice Lance or any of the ice spells because she took the Pyromancy. So we can't do any of those. The other one is Fire Blast, which you can see is a little bit of a compromise. It's a lot cheaper. 5 focus. It hits with 1 worse, and it rolls 2 less dice. So Fire Blast, I guess, is your compromise. So you got Fireball and Fire Blast. And Fire Hand. Now Fire Hand requires you to be in striking range. Both of these do not. So I could, get upgraded to Fire Blast so I can stop doing Fire Hands and I don't have to move her into striking range anymore. And this is just an overall better spell. The Fire Hands, as you can see, it requires a 6 to hit, just like this one does. The difference, of course, that's striking, that's not. That's only 3 dice when I spend an experience, that's 5. Yeah, let's go for at least the Fire Blast, even if we can't get the Fireball yet. How about that? So, in order to get this, that costs 1 gold. And we can learn it, or I'm sorry, that's Fire Hands. Fire Blast costs 3 gold, and we can learn that now. We don't have to, even if she can't cast it yet, we can still do it now. So there's 1, 2, 3 gold. Alright, so she's got Fire Blast. And then I think I'm going to do 3 gold to get the Hobbit up to our Master Rogue to get 1 more health. So we're going to spend 3 gold for that. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to spend the next 15 gold on our Wizard. So 3 gold to get to level 2. There's 3. 3 more gold to get to level 3. 3 gold to get to level 4. She's real cheap to level up. 3 gold to get to level 5. She would need 7 gold to get to level 6. But where we're at now, she's going to draw 2 cards around, which is perfect. She doesn't get a bonus to her mana yet. Her lore gets a little bit better. And the big thing is she's going to have 10 focus, so she can cast that Fire Blast excuse me, a lot better. I like it. We got her all the way up to level 5, and she was real cheap to level up, so she's a cheap date. So there you go. 2, 3, that's 5. Alright, so I got 10 focus on her now. That's good, because now she's drawing cards every round. Well, now my natural thing is I got 3 gold left. It costs 5 to level up the Hobbit, which stinks, because I would have been able to get him to draw cards every round. That cost 5. Darn it. But I am happy I got him what I got him. For 3 gold, can I do anything? I could maybe get a skill. Or an armor, or something like that. It's funny, because there is things like casting speed, which gives the wizard another action. We got that dodgy, right, for the, but that costs 5 gold. Almost anything that's worth it in this game costs a lot of money. That's my issue. I could get, oh, here we go. Absolutely, look at this. Fine leather boots adds 1 to your movement value for 2 gold. Excuse me. I'm giving that to the wizard. So now she has a movement point. That was a good use of the money. I got another set of boots that we could buy, and I could give that to anybody to give them 1 more movement. Like, I could give it to the rogue, so now he's at least moving with 2 movement points, and he can use his cards for other things. But there you have it. So here, you can rid the town of orcs. You roll lore +1 to gain 1 gold. That's an amazing one, and we're gonna spend an experience point to do exactly that. So we'll spend this 5, make it a 4, and our person needs a 4 and it's a lore +1, which means we get to add +1 to this roll. And of course I roll 1. You jerk. That would have gained us a gold. That would have been fantastic. All right, so we didn't rid the land of orcs. And then Shaywood itself. I'll let you pause. So it looks like if you rid the Shaywood of orcs and do not accept payment for your heroic deed, then the townsfolk will share the layout of the secret of the barracks, and you get an extra 3 XP. Why would I spend a gold to get 3 XP? I don't know. I guess maybe I'm playing the game wrong. I am just overloaded with XP. Or I solve the game. Like how there's maybe if you pick different combinations of heroes, it's not this easy. But I'm showing you the strategy to just plow through this game. I mean, there's been a few times where I've been a little dicey, but this strategy works, folks. Just do it. That's all you have to do. All right, so this is Shaywood. There we go. It's the Twisted Grove, another 7 gold. We're going to do 3 common locations. It's not even going to be a renown. So that hurts, because we're not going to get as much gold with that. It's a time of 6, and we're going to use Barracks and Chief Erg. So that blows. Like this one would have been better. Look at that, 2 renown locations. But yeah, it is what it is. Alright, and then... Alright, so we got the barracks and Chieftain Erg. Alright, I finally found them. Alright, just shuffling and going through my cards here. My apologies. Okay, so Chieftain Erg, you can see he has a cover of 4, he has 7 health, he has an arc +2 at the bottom, which means that the paladin would have been able to get a +2 on her spell. He looks like a total pushover. We're going to get 5 gold from him, and then 7 from the Grove, so that's 12. So we'd have to earn 8 gold from everybody else. So 1, 2, 3, the location's going to go here, and then his minion is Spearman, +3 extra. Well, we got to pay attention to that. 3 extra Spearmen. It's not just what's written on the card. I may have missed that on the other one. And there we go. And so it is 3 extra. I don't know how to represent it, but what I'll do is I'm going to put this 3 on it to remind me I have to draw 3 extra for there. So that shows that there's 6 monsters, but there's really 9. Because this guy comes with 3 extra guards because it's a renowned dungeon. Okay, so there you have it. I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.